Thank you for making this wonderful entry here in Las Vegas. I'm really excited. That song was a song that I actually used for a presentation 30 years ago, Return to Sender, and it's all about reverse logistics, recycling. And that's what we do at Cabka. I'm going to give you a presentation, what's happening in the industry, how we see that, and also what our way is of putting in recycled content into plastics. And at the end, I'm going to show you some of the products that we're showing actually in the North Hall. So I welcome everybody to come to the North Hall after this presentation. So, what's the challenge today? What's happening in the industry? It's all about automation, robotics, digitization, artificial intelligence, and sustainability. We see here at the show that automation and robotics is increasing dramatically, and growth predictions are even further accelerated into the future. But also digitization. We had this discussion about tracking, tracing, RFID, and artificial intelligence is really booming. And we're proud that we have some leading customers that are working in these fields with our products. Companies like BMW and Tesla. But key is sustainability. Every large company is having ESG initiatives, every large company. And 40% of customers or end customers of our customers are expecting that you have to put in recycled content into products. And more than 56% of people are saying, and again, consumers, that companies should be very transparent about what they're doing in ESG. And for us, ESG is a lot. It's actually 3 different animals. It's like a pig, a cow, and a goat. But the E is very important for us. Further, we see in the market that every large corporation is putting sustainability at the top of their strategic priority. It's really crucial for any company to have that as one of the board top attention points. And then when you look at customers or consumers, they are requiring more and more sustainable products. And when they require more sustainable products, and when they talk about plastic or packaging, they're demanding higher recycled content into that packaging. What's also happening, and there's a difference between what's going on in Europe and the US. In Europe, there's already heavy legislation that is putting on taxation on virgin plastics, virgin polymer materials. There's a heavy emphasis on new legislation around waste and waste directives. And then there's, of course, the future, the possible tax consequences about what you do with your CO2 balances. In the US, it's different. I would not say that the US is backwards, but it's different. In the US, you see single-use plastic bans. You see a lot of things happening in California, and more legislation is coming in other different states. But it's clear that there is a big push for circular packaging. We claim that these products then that you have to put into the market, which have to be innovative, have to also be the most sustainable when you compare it to the alternatives. And that means that you have to rethink how you are putting in a new pallet or a new container or a new crate into your logistics system. It means that you have to think about reuse, about heavy reuse. That means that you have to make your reusable transport packaging, RTP, as light as possible. Because if you make it very heavy, that will score very bad in a life cycle analysis. So it's not easy to make a product very light and at the same time very durable. So that's a big challenge. And then again, you have to try to maximize the use of recycled material in your product, because in a couple of years, you're not allowed to use virgin plastics into your pallets or in your crates. So we actually see already in the UK that you have to have a minimum content of 30% of recycled plastics into your pallets, in your crates. And I'm pretty sure that's going to happen here in the US as well. Also, and that's the benefit, and that's maybe not as good for people that like to sell and sell and sell. When you reuse, you're actually trying to make as much as possible with a small volume of assets, which means that you decrease your total pool of assets. When you make your assets, you have to think about what's happening at the end of life. And you have to do that when you begin the design process. Because if you don't think how you're going to possibly repair or replace or recycle the product at the end of life, you will have problems in implementing the recycled content. Because the goal is always, at the end of life, no matter how many trips you can make with the pallet, 200, 300, 400, 500, it has to be recycled. It has to be 100% recycled. And we at Cabka, we see waste as a big opportunity because we generate waste quite a lot. And we're very proud that we think that we are the highest user of recycled content in plastic packaging, and actually in plastic returnable transport packaging. Our usage of recycled content is already 86% of materials, and we do that partly by material that we recycle in-house, and partly by recycled material that we buy externally. And then, yes, we still use virgin material. 14% of our products, pallets, are made out of virgin material. Why do we need virgin material? It can be that some customer wants to have a specific red color. It's very difficult with recycled material to get these types of color, or blue. Or it can be that some type of customer wants to have a flame retardant material which has to also have very good impact properties. For those very specific applications, we are using virgin. But definitely our goal is to go to 100% recycled material content. So that's our ambition. And our company is a medium-sized company. We did over 208 million euros of sales last year. We produce about 10 million pallets a year. So yeah, we produce pallets. We have about 700 people. We operate in 6 different plants. One large plant in Europe, one large plant in the US, in St. Louis, Missouri, and the other plants are spread across Europe. And very key for us in our development and our growth has been our innovation center. We centered all our innovation in our innovation center in Valencia. That's where we do design, that's where we do material developments, that's where we do testing, that's where we make prototypes, that's where we make full-size prototypes. That's where I think we build a lot of competence. We got about 40 FTEs, engineers working there. And we recycle then also quite a lot of material. It's more than 120,000 kilotons of material. And that 125,000 tons of material is about the volume of waste generated by 4 to 5 million European citizens per year. So we basically recycle this post-consumer rubbish and make pellets out of it. And when we do that, we basically also save quite a lot of CO2 from the environment and avoid over or nearly 300,000 metric tons of CO2. So we think that's impressive, and that's what every company should try to achieve. Shipments, boxes. So definitely in any system that we come across, and we do a lot of life cycle analysis, we will have a better footprint per trip when you compare a corrugated box to a large collapsible container. The small picture that you see there is a small box, and actually it's a very large box which are used for transport of automotive components. But also in pallets, there you see the comparison of a wood Euro-size pallet, which is the most common wood pallet used in the market. That pallet has, let's say, makes 4 trips, and then it's basically up for repair or up for waste disposal or energy recovery. And replacing that pallet with a light retail pallet brings huge benefits from a CO2 footprint. But more important for our customers is not the CO2 footprint, it's basically the cost per trip. And that's actually helping a lot to accelerate growth. So what do we do? What do we do different? What do we do different from the companies that you see here? We're a company that was founded many years ago by an entrepreneur, and he had an idea of recycling. He didn't know what to do with the material, but his idea was recycling, make some value out of recycled material. And he's been basically doing that from an old plant in Eastern Germany, and we have grown over the years, and we focused on producing pallets made out of recycled plastics, actually post-consumer recycling packaging waste. So in Europe, we take the waste, which is basically coming into the bins, we bring it to our plant, we further sort it down, and we upgrade it, and we use that for the production of pallets. So we really close the loop. And we're proud that this company that was started in 1994 became a stock-listed company last year in Amsterdam. Again, we focus on recycling. We focus on engineering the materials, and this is the most complex part because making a pallet out of virgin material is easy. Making a pallet out of, let's say, controlled, reused material is also easy. But making a pallet out of waste plastics is very complicated because waste changes. The waste changes depending upon what season you're in, which geographic area it comes from. City waste is different from what comes from farms, and also the composition change. So you continuously have to fine-tune your recipes, and that's what we do in Valencia. We mix different plastics and we fine-tune the recipes to meet the performance for pallets. That's where we do also product development, and that's where we also, of course, implement production. And services, we take pallets, we recycle them, or we repair them, or we equip them out with RFID tags or advanced GPS trackers, and we provide those services. And we're not doing that alone. We're doing that with world-leading brands. And I guess most of them actually are in Europe because that's where we are based. But we're very proud that in the US, we have a major collaboration with a company called Target to implement reusable systems. But our market segments are heavily focused on that, on reusable systems for those major brands. And on the right side, you see the well-known pooling companies which we all work with, which of course are crucial for implementing reusable transport packaging. We're very proud and happy that we are a member of the RPA, but we are also a member of certain organizations in Europe, the circular platforms. We participate in the Carter Foundation. We're proud that we got an A- circularity score. I'm not going to explain what that is. And we're very proud that we have an EcoVadis rating, silver rating, because that's what brands are looking at. They're looking at what is your transparency about the data that you're putting into the market. So how do we do development? It's not so easy. I know companies think, okay, I can make a pallet. I buy machines, I buy a mold, I have the material, and I just go for it. It's not so easy. Some people know that this is a hard way to make a pallet. So we make 10 million pallets a year, so we do pretty well-defined developments. So it goes from understanding the process of customers, failure mode analysis. We do concurrent designs. We do designs FEA analysis, and we are actually pretty advanced in that. I'll show that later. We do 3D prototyping, so we make small 3D prints. We got, I think, 6 3D printers running continuously in our lab in Valencia. But then we also make one-to-one large prototypes, real large prototypes. And Ben, you've seen those things in action, and that's really important because from a design to a prototype to a real part, you have to start to invest in a mold. And if you basically are able to test a one-to-one part, you will come across a lot of problems, which will save you time in the whole development, because then the tooling starts, and that's a long period where you do nothing in the development. So we got about 26 concurrent developments in place. We bring continuously new developments into the market, and that's happening at a rapid pace. Oops, sorry. So here you see several steps. It comes from a concept that goes to an FEA analysis, real size prototyping, and then the final product. And I'm happy to announce that this product today actually made its first commercial deliveries to customers in Europe and is running perfectly. So what is FEA? FEA means that you basically simulate stresses in a plastic part under load, and that helps us to determine, let's say, the rackability of a pallet. But what we also do is we simulate dynamic performance, and that's a little bit more complicated. It requires quite some computer power to do these things. So what you see here is I can look at this picture a long time. This is an advanced battery container box. Basically, in that box, there's layers, and then there's batteries put inside, which this box has to last several drops. And basically, drops, the product should not come out. The box can break, but it should not come out. So that's what we simulate. Then we make all kind of prototypes. That product is actually small like this, so it's not a real container. And we do real life testing. Imagine the noise of a container full with batteries falling on the floor and cracking. Okay. So, yeah, we are producing pellets. We produce all kind of pellets. I think we've got about 150 different SKUs to choose from. But mainly, you can divide them into nestable pellets, heavy-duty pellets, or let's say medium-duty pellets, and large boxes. The key product that we are showing actually in the North Hall is our new retail US5, which is a very nice nestable pallet, which optimize all the logistics because it's nesting very tight, not like the old-fashioned thick twin sheet pallets that you see around there, which use a lot of space. And I welcome you guys again to come to our booth, because you will be impressed about the performance of that pallet. There's supposed to be music here as well. the North Hall, we don't show it, but we introduced that last year, is the nest rack, which is also a nestable pallet, but with the advantage that you can stack the pallet, that you can transport it on rollers, that you can nest it, and it also has some racking capability. So very, very, very unique concept that we think makes sense to look at. And yeah, let's call this Enduro, which is our workhorse brand for heavy-duty pallets that have to make many, many trips. So this 4840 pallet is a heavy-duty, one-piece pallet that is easy to wash, makes many trips, and is also in our booth at the other hall. Then coming to the let's say the piece de resistance, piece of resistance. How do you say that? Our Cabka 4840. Really, I encourage you, come to the North Hall. You'll see the future of collapsible containers. This unit has a very strong base with repairable feet, which in the feet you can put also asset trackers. Actually, they're fitted out with asset trackers. And with sidewalls that do not fold out, but you can completely take them off. That means that you can set up this unit in 20 seconds, and you can fold it down in 20 seconds. And you have full access into the unit, so you have a very high filling rate. These units today make 2 turns per week, so more than 100 turns per year. That's generating dramatic savings for the customer and could generate dramatic savings for you. Yep, I'm here at the end. So we are, our company is about materials, recycled materials, processing, product design, and collaboration. And we would like to work with you. So please, thank you and see you at the North Hall.